few days, a whole bunch of Christmas movies are going to be released in a new format, and some of these are absolute classics. With us to talk about them from Bull Moose, Chris Brown, Mick Werkhoven. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you here as always.
Yeah, good to be here.
So these movies are coming out on 4K, Ultra, Mega, Super HD. Just what in practical terms does that mean?
Better video, better audio.
All right, that's all we need to know. Good enough. All right, let's take a look at the first batch of...
Thank you for being so concise about that. We'll still be talking about, the dynamic range of the, the color depth. Yeah.
Chris, be quiet. Scott's already explained it all.
Hey, we got the Rankin Bass movies.
All right, the Rankin Bass movies. These are the stop-action classics for, about 3 generations of kids now.
These have been on the air for forever.
Yeah. They started out in the 1960s, and they just don't die. They get shown year after year after year. Any commentary on these?
I was going to say, well, they do die because you don't have Year Without a Santa Claus here. And Chris had an interesting theory behind that.
I know that they lost the 35 millimeter footage to one of these Rankin Bass specials.
Right.
I don't remember which one it is. So all they have is 16 millimeter. So there's nothing to
upscale to 4K.
All right. It's a loss for American culture.
But those are don't put those away yet, because those are great.
I'm
and
not
maybe
putting
you'll
them
get
away.
to see maybe you get to see the wires and
I'm
stuff.
I'm not going into the dumpster. I'm just putting them aside. All right, here's another one. Holiday Inn with Fred Astaire. This is a movie that is famous for a reason that a lot of people may not know about, because the song that came from this is the one that just changed American Christmas music.
Oh, the David
forever.
Bowie song?
The David Bowie, Bing Crosby duet.
I'm just kidding. I know. Yeah.
White Christmas. And White Christmas originally appeared in this movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
And this is the 80th anniversary, by the way. So totally an indelible classic. And White Christmas was the first Christmas song to chart, right? Or the first one of those two.
Isn't it the biggest selling number one?
Oh, definitely is the biggest selling of all time.
Of all time, White Christmas. This is one of my favorites. Elf, Will Ferrell. I watch this just about every year. Absolutely terrific movie.
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
Now you can watch it even more.
I think this one is really interesting because it's the most recent of all of these, and there hasn't been like a really classic movie since Elf.
I think that's a fair appraisal. I don't know what it's hard to analyze the magic of what makes them. I mean, I can watch and say, okay, this is working, this is working, this is working. But I guess the hard thing is trying to figure out how to do it again. And that's why there hasn't been
one.
A movie of similar caliber in the last 20 years or so.
Well, we would be doing it like we would just start a production company, the 3 of us. If we knew.
If only we had the talent. The Polar Express, this is another one that has become a classic, and I mean, in Portland, the Narrow Gauge Railroad does a Polar Express ride. This is one that kids absolutely love. What do you guys like about this one?
I'm the wrong age. My kids weren't born yet, and I'm too old.
Really?
Never seen it.
I liked it. What's really interesting about this one in 4K, as I watched a trailer for it, the CGI on the faces does not age particularly well, and this is actually a movie that maybe is better to be watched on DVD.
You coming?
Where?
Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express.
But it is really interesting. You get to see all the scenes, which is what I really like about 4K in general.
There are movies that are like that. They're better in the old format than in the new. A Christmas Story. I'm going to take a contrarian view. I don't think this is all that great a movie.
I have a fascinating video you can watch about the origins of why people think The Christmas Story is classic, but I won't be a Grinch today. But there's something about like MGM purchasing a back catalog of films for Turner Broadcasting, and they could basically air it for free. Yeah. So they like engineered a tradition.
Well, I'm not going to argue with
I think if you're a certain kind of person, you can identify with that, like everything's going wrong, type of thing. Always makes me super uncomfortable.
Yeah. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is another one that belongs, I think, in the Hall of Fame without much doubt.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead?
Geez, that's another one of those ones that makes me really uncomfortable because everything goes wrong. It's like you just know it's snowballing, and like, I mean, he's trying so hard, but I mean, it's just,
I love this
That's
one.
the
I
joke.
like that everything goes wrong.
All right.
And then I snuck one thing in at the end.
We're going to suddenly go veering off into a different genre. This is one that Mick wanted to share with us. Starship Troopers, the 25th anniversary edition.
We are a generation commanded by fate to defend humankind.
Everyone fights, no one quits.
It's not a Christmas movie, but it does come out this week, and this is one of my Desert Island movies.
Yep.
And I watch this one every year, so I had to make sure that this goes in here.
Yeah, I file this under guilty pleasures. All of those movies coming out in the next week or so in 4K Ultra HD. Great to have you here, as always. Thank you so much.
Of course, happy holidays.
Stick around. We will be back with more of 207 in just a moment.